Listen up, Vegas. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse. Perfect!
Welcome to the Slaughterhouse is back. Now, we've been off for a little while now, haven't really done a lot of live streams, but we're going to start doing it more regularly. When I decided I was going to come back and do Welcome to the Slaughterhouse, I thought, well, who better than to bring on a fellow Aussie compatriot from a channel that's fast becoming one of my favorites, but more importantly, this individual is fast becoming a really good friend. I'm talking about the Stealthy boy. Stealthy boy. He also likes retro toys, so he's a retro toy boy. Toy boy. And we're going to bring on our buddy, Nate, from the RetroTinker channel.
Hello.
How are you, buddy? Looking good?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, man.
So I got to tell you, Nate, when I said that I was having you on the show, there were two people that put their hands up and said, if he's going to be there, I want to be there. And we're going to bring on our good buddies and fellow Beard Force members, Adam from GoFigure and Phil from Treasure. Beard Force, right, with our beards combined.
Look at us.
I want to say, with all that Zazel and I have done together, I've never been on a Welcome to the Slaughterhouse.
What?
Never.
You know what? And funnily enough, I look more like you today than you do.
I know. I didn't wear plaid because it's so early here and it's getting cold. I'm like, I need something warmer, but not coat yet. But when I said if Nate's going to be on a Welcome to it's like when there's a convention in your town, you're like, do I want to go to it? And then, William Shatner's going to be there. I had better go. And I was like, Nate's going to be there. I had better get my VIP pass.
Yeah, we all love the RetroTinker channel. And some people in the chat have also jumped in, and I'm sure if they aren't already subscribed to the RetroTinker, the link is in the description. Do check it out. It's just gone 1 over 100. So we're going to say hi to the chat real quick. We've got Eldor, Master Versal Toy Hunter. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Eldor.
Phil's fellow Kiwi in Johnny. How are you, mate? And he said, if you're like a drink on a Friday night and a Zazel Tinker talk, give me a hell yeah. And I'm going to give you that hell yeah. Double duty with Phil because he saw another Kiwi. And we've got the very lovely Kimberly, who we all owe an apology to for Star Trek references.
I will not.
Never.
It wasn't me, Kimberly. It was not me.
Just want to say hi. Skyfall, how are you, bud? Good to see you. A fellow Aussie in the chat again.
Hey,
usual
Mike.
Mike Television. How are you, mate? There's nothing usual about Mike Television. It is off the rocker? Off the rocker? It is off the wall. It is
Off the hook, bro.
off the hook. It's off the hook. It's off the wagon. Kimberly's given us the A-OK. Never apologize for being nerdy. Johnny's watching ads on 2 devices. Uh-oh. Yeah. I've got to make those tens of cents for every live stream that I do. Thanks,
I wanted
guys.
to say about your comment about the 101 subscribers that the Tinker has here.
Yeah.
The subscriber count is a funny thing when you get into YouTube because, like, you know, it shouldn't matter because there's great content out there with guys that have 38 subscribers, and there's awful content with guys that have 1 million. But when I was watching mine, and it's just interesting to watch, it got to 999, and I took a screenshot of it, and I sent it to a group chat that some of you are in and some people are not in anymore. And I said, guys, I'm at 999. I never want another subscriber. This is perfect. 30 seconds later, someone in the group was like, I made a fake account. You now have 1,000. I was like, what?
Ken. Definitely Ken.
I wasn't going to say a name, but
did I get it right?
It's cooler to have 999.
Speaking of cooler, Keep On Collecting is saying Buongiorno, legends. What language is that?
I think it's a Spanish-Australian hybrid.
Yep, I thought so. And brother Nodsy in the house, giving us 2 thumbs up from the other room.
Buddy.
Hey, Nodsy!
Yeah.
Hey, mate.
I watched a thing on Australian terms last night, like how to.
The thing, but in Australian terms?
No, it was the thing Australian version. No, it was a video called like the top 10 Australian terms and what they mean. And
yes.
And legend was on there. Like you guys say it so often that it's an Australian term, and they say it can either mean someone's done something excellent,
yes,
or that they're an incredible dick. Those are the 2 things that.
It's all about context.
Yeah, it is context. It is all about context
And tone, and basically
definitely.
how far you're jutting your chin out.
Yeah. It also depends on if you're cheersing them as well.
Yeah.
All right. We also have another Aussie. He's talking about all those bean nachos. he spelt it wrong, but thanks for dropping in, Scotty.
I don't know why they're multilingual. Oh, the language is coming out tonight.
Multilingual.
We're very
Yeah.
multicultural here in Australia these days.
Yeah, we are. Fair dinkum.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, that nachos joke didn't really hit, but it's fine. I had to do it anyway. So, moving on. Now, I'm going to throw up on the screen the epicness that is the RetroTinkers. Now, actually, you know what? I'm going to let Nate explain it. Tell us, what is the RetroTinker channel all about?
Well, so far, it is about me fixing up toys and making stupid jokes.
Now, hang on. They might be stupid, and they might be jokes, but they are not stupid jokes.
No.
They are top shelf stuff, my man. But you got. I'm just going to run through a couple of these videos, show them off. Cyber Duke, hilarious. Jawsome, hilarious. Like, you guys have got to check out the RetroTinkers. If I keep sliding down, this one, all hail gluten carbon.
Say there is a quintessential RetroTinker masterpiece. It is gluten common.
Yeah.
I've watched that video at least 7 times to just laugh because it's my favorite episode of a TV show that I love. It is so good.
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about starting this channel is that for years I've had silly ideas that I do nothing with, and now this year I've been able to put some of those ideas into action, and now they're out on the internet.
I did check out the Tommy Armatron. I noticed that Sarge plays a bit of a cameo in that video. And my comment was, you're lucky that Sarge didn't break out of this and bust your toy. And Nate came back with, he was having fun. Whee! Whee, maggots. But guys, if you haven't, I've got the link in the description. If you haven't subscribed to the RetroTinker, you will not be disappointed. I swear to you. If you haven't seen his jar heads, check it out. If you haven't seen his videos to do with just about anything, it's all good stuff. It's all quality stuff.
You can ask
Speaking of quality stuff,
I giggled to myself for days over those jar heads. Favorite dumb idea I've ever had.
It is definitely my favorite.
In a world where vinyl pops are selling in the thousands and thousands and thousands, jar heads is a viable thing, my friend. Like that is a money idea, and I stand by that. I need
a Sarge jarhead in my life.
We all have like crazy ideas and like, oh, this would sell, this would be great. With your jar heads, I'm saying you need to make an Etsy store or something and get them out. Like it is a real idea that in 2023 is a collectible thing. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, my intention is to eventually try and make some like proper molds and that. So the ones that I've used in my videos, they're just things I've kind of thrown together, and the paint didn't react well with the the resin and stuff like that, so they're all just pretty horrible to actually play with. But like I do intend to refine the process, get some molds and make some things, and like probably not put actual jam in them, but maybe like some slime or something. Just
it helps preserve it.
Oh, I also have found this little skeleton kit with a little the little rib cage is the perfect size to fit into the little jar. So it's gonna be like
that's cool.
With a rib cage just suspended in.
That's okay. Roll with that.
Yeah.
So keep on collecting the best father-son YouTube channel on YouTube. Says that their favorite video is the Dragon Walker with He-Man. The music is what made it.
the do my strut, do.
Weeks of giggling. Weeks. You know what? This is no word of a lie. Before we went live, we were talking about Nate's when he was on an episode of Mo Tuesday Night Live.
The Mo Tuesday morning show.
That was it's not a morning show. Anyway, we were talking about that episode that Nate was on, which was, roughly maybe a month ago. And we still find it hilarious to this day. I was laughing backstage talking about it. It's just, if you haven't seen that episode, check. I think it was on Phil's channel. In fact, if you guys aren't subscribed to Adam's channel and Phil's channel, then please do that too. This guy. Everyone on screen right now is infinitely worth a subscriber than this channel here. So if you're here, check these guys out. Oh yeah, and he's got a bit of a he's got a Jesus thing happening. So epic hair and beard. Yeah, he's officially the leader of Beard Force.
That's right.
Yeah, I reckon Stealthy Boy is definitely one of the highlights of the Mo Tuesday series so far. That catchphrase has just stuck with us ever since. Yeah. Just brilliant.
There's definitely a Stealthy Boy t-shirt.
Yeah, I actually have made some Stealthy Boy t-shirts. The same company that I ordered my GoFigure shirt from.
Nice.
They're actually up there, so I need to order one and just like make sure that the quality is there, and then I'm going to put the link in my bio. Something. So yeah, you can get Stealthy Boy t-shirt, Stealthy Boy the mug, Stealthy Boy the.
You get the whole merch for Stealthy Boy. Usual Mike subbed up. Everyone on the screen, good on you, mate. We'll definitely have to catch up, Mike. Another Aussie legend. It's been too long. And Johnny, another one we've got to catch up with is subscribe to all these weirdos with nice haircuts and beards. Beards of legends. Here's another part of Beard Force. Jay, morning.
Oh, morning, Jay.
G'day, mate.
Good to see you. See, this is exactly what I was trying to get to in my opening. I just don't know if it quite landed. That's what I was trying to do. May not have landed, but that's what I was trying to do. So, Nate sent me some stuff.
Ooh.
Shall we see what's in the box?
I absolutely
with that. First of all, pretty.
Oh,
nice. I can wear that. And or, you know what this is? This is part of my Nate cosplay. Yes.
Oh, so pretty.
You look like a 1930s judge.
Hang on. I've got to put my Nate beard on.
As opposed to your regular beard.
Oh, it's like there's two of me.
Yeah.
All right. Put it away. Yay, package. Kimberly get it. Let's check out what's in this box.
The box is in a box.
Oh, yeah.
I would love it if it was a note that says
It was in the box.
note. It says, "Please enjoy your costume kit."
It
Look
is
at that.
Halloween. Oh, nice.
What's in the box? Oh, okay. Now, this is on brand and is absolutely amazing. I'm just going to put this to the side. Put that to the side. Make sure I don't miss anything here. All right. Now, as a big fan of the RetroTinker and obviously, as a big fan of the RetroTinker, having something produced by Nate, the RetroTinker, is a dream come true. But he hasn't just sent me any old thing. He sent me my favorite thing. It's Sarge.
Oh, beauty.
That.
Perfect. That is badass. Holy, and the shades and everything.
Look at you go.
I'm going to wear that. Okay, it's got a thing on it. I'm going to wear it. I'm going to wear it with pride. You won't be able to see it through my luscious, thick hair of pelt. I was going to go into a Step Brothers reference, but I decided it's probably not the time of day for it. I've got a little RetroTinker box.
Oh,
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Nate, for the. Oh, I wonder if there's anything in it. If there isn't, the box is just cool. So I'll give this an open. Have a look inside. Oh yeah,
There's the thing you actually asked for.
it's a me.
Oh, cool.
How cool is that?
Phil and I are going to open up our participation ribbons now.
Thank you very much. Oh, there's something else. There's one more thing. Oh, I know what this is. All right. Now I'm going to show it on screen, and I was actually going to bring this up to you, Nate. If it's not what I think it is, then I've just teed you up for something that you have no idea what I'm talking about. But it is exactly what I thought it was. Now I need you. Let me be serious for a moment. And now I'm going to show just for now. Now I'm going to show it on screen, and I'm going to tell you when I saw this, when you shared a photo of it. When I saw it, I was like, I have to have one of these. This is the best thing, other than a jarhead. This is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. I need to know all about it. I need to know where you came up with it. This is if you want to know the kind of humor that Nate has. He's come up with the young and the rest. Hang on, I'll put myself solo so you can get the full view. Whoop. Oh yeah, the young and the wrestlers. Rated PG. But there's also, it doesn't just end there. There's also little descriptions on the back of it, which is amazing. I don't know. I won't bother reading it for now. I have to do a video on it just to highlight it. Get me off the screen. Exit solo.
How did that Young and the Restless came about another stream, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it was. I made that for Scott Crusher.
Yeah, that's right.
And Hazel's actually got his before Scott's got his.
Oh no, Scotty! I'm sorry, Scotty. Don't hate me.
Yeah, but that was something that Scotty had said on a stream that he thought the show was called The Young and the Restless, and my brain's just gone, oh, that's a great idea. So yeah, I've run with that.
If it was actually The Young and the Restless when I was a kid, I would have faked being sick a lot more.
Yeah.
Because when you were homesick, you got to watch The Price is Right, but also The Young and the Restless.
It's just the best.
So I made it for Scott, and I showed you guys, and Zazel was like, I want one.
I need it.
I'll go to the printer and print another one.
It doesn't even end just at the cover because it's on the VHS. It's on
I was full of Nate's home movies as a child.
Be kind, rewind, guys. Someone's already watched this partway through.
They were waiting for the wrestlers to show up.
They're still in a coma.
So, like, ideally, I would love to just like edit together a bunch of like Young and the Restless footage and wrestling footage to try and like find some sort of coherent story. Dig out an old VCR, record it onto a video, and that would be in there.
Yeah.
So if I ever manage to do that, you'll get a replacement VHS.
I'll just add it to the channel, and I can watch it there. Oh, good. No hard feelings, Scott. Good. Channel member David has shown up. Hey, fellas. How are you, David? And I just wanted to make sure Stephen got a shout out. Good morning, recruits. Good morning, buddy. Well, it's evening for 3 out of 4 of us. GeForce Racing 20.
Hey,
how are you,
Nate? How did the Mario medals come about? You were organizing a race or something, is that right?
Yeah. So about 6 or 7 years ago, I think now, I decided I'd had my I'd recently got Nintendo, like the original Nintendo, the NES, and I had it set up in the lounge room, and it was coming up to my birthday, and I was just like, oh, maybe I could get my friends to play Mario Kart with me on my birthday. That'd be fun. And so I told them that was what was happening. They were all going to come over. We were going to play Mario Kart. And because I go over the top with everything, I decided I'm going to make a medal to give to the winner. So, and like at work, we have a CNC plasma cutter, which you draw something up on a computer and it'll cut out the fancy shape. And so so this thing made out of 3 mil steel, like it was heavy. You could probably straight up murder someone with this medal. But yeah, so I made it, and it blew everyone's mind because not only was there a contest, there was something to actually win at the end. And so the next year I did it again, and then again and again, and I kind of got sick of asking for favors at work, so I decided I'm not going to make it out of metal, and and I'd started playing with resins and stuff, so I'll make something out of plastic. Then made metal. It's a much smaller thing, and I think that's the third year running we've had medals.
Unreal.
I love it.
Yeah,
congratulations, Hazel.
Because I was trying to
I didn't earn this. I didn't earn it at all. Rainbow Road is my kryptonite. I cannot stay on track.
That metal is like those guys that buy a wrestling belt and wear it around the con.
Yeah. Thank you for including me in what is a decades-long tradition that I had absolutely nothing to do with. And also, you're right, Ad. And also, the Sarge. Oh, that is
beautiful.
The Sarge one came about. I still had all my stuff out. I hadn't cleaned up my mess yet. So I was like, and because I knew you already wanted one, I was like, it would blow Zazel's mind if I made a Sarge one, because I didn't even think I was going to pull off a Mario one. Because before, like, I'd done a star and I'd done like a mushroom shape on this. There's like simple things. And I was trying to figure out what I was going to put on there this year. And Kim's like, what about Mario's face? I'm like, I don't think I could do that. I should try. And it kind of did. It looks enough like Mario to be considered a Mario, I think.
I think so. Absolutely.
I think that looks enough like Sarge.
So, Nate, I have a friend in town here who makes unreal cookies. I brought some to Sarge at Joe Fest last year, and I had some. And she does an incredible job. And then so she messaged me a couple weeks ago, and she goes, I'd like to do a Mario party, but I don't have any cookie cutters I can use for Mario cookies. Could you make me some in your printer? And I was like, sure. So I made her a set of Mario cookie cutters. I'm just going to print off a second set and send it to you. And that way next year at your birthday, you could have Mario cookies with your Mario party.
That'd be awesome.
That's cool.
I love that. That's going to happen.
And then Nate can send me some Mario cookies that I also didn't.
send me her cookie recipe as well. Another thing.
Also send the recipe.
Yeah.
Just like slowly look at your wife like, I have these cookie cutters.
What do I do with these? Do you use them as resin? That is amazing.
I did make a because I'm in a club for Chrysler cars, and one year we were having a annual club meeting.
Hey, Will.
And we were supposed to like bring something to it, so I made cookies. But again, because I go overboard with things, I went to work and got some metal and made like the motor parts symbol is like this weird sort of circular M shape. So I made a stamp. So I made these big chocolate chip cookies with the Mopar stamped in the middle of everything.
I
then
love
the most delicious cookies I've ever made. And of course, I lost the recipe. Never to be found again.
I just love that in a Mopar collectors group where it's like a bunch of muscle car gearheads, and you're like, I brought cookies.
Well, everyone else brought beer.
You gotta think outside the box.
Kimberly, send some cookies to Japan, please.
Yeah,
It's hard to find a good cookie in Japan. They don't do cookies over here.
Oh, dear. Hey, you know what, Phil? There's a market there for you then.
Yeah,
There we go. I better start practicing in the kitchen.
but is it because that they don't like cookies there? Like, is your business going to fail miserably? You're your only customer.
I'm just going to eat them. Yeah. I don't care if I lose money. I'm just eating them.
That's right.
Start some sort of like charity drive, cookies for Trigger.
Ooh, see,
There we
Nate
go.
is so funny.
I'm sure the kids at school would lap them up. Kids love cookies, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Kids don't know what they like. You just put it in front of them and they'll eat it.
If it's got sugar in it, they'll eat it, I'm sure.
That's right. At Adam's church, I saw kids eating vegetables with joy because they were made out of cookies.
the lady who makes the epic cookies made sugar cookies and then decorated them to look like real vegetables. So it looked like a vegetable tray with dip. It was just cookies and icing, and it was incredible.
Yeah. It was so good. I don't think I've ever seen kids go back for second cookie or second veggie. Todd's like, he loves a good cookie. And I hope you've got enough couches for us all, Nate, because we've got the official invite to the come to the party for unlimited cookies, September 2024. We're in. You know, as we found out, you know what we found out today, Nate, that we missed, that we didn't have time to go and see? You sent a picture in the group chat. Tell us about that.
It was called, I've completely forgotten. So, Pox Eclipse Redemption. So it is a Mad Max themed festival in the desert of Western Australia. They've got a full like a blood dome where they've got the guys who like fight in armor and stuff, like they just beat the absolute tar out of each other. Yeah, they had that and like that. People with modified vehicles, like the Mad Max style vehicles and things, and like the LARPing, I guess they would as well. Like what
would Mad Max LARPing be called? Do you reckon?
Maxing.
About an hour,
Maxing. We're gonna max out.
Away from where we live. There's a bunch of people. They come from all over the country to get into the pine forest, and they set up an entire like Viking village for a weekend.
Oh, that's cool.
Or a long weekend.
Nice.
And they open it up on one day so that like us tourists can go and have a look at it. But like they set up there for like a 4-day weekend, and it just looks like the absolute best time.
So,
all right,
Mad Max is in my top 5 movies of all time. The original one. I know Road Warrior is like the one people like the best, but the original one to me is is perfect. And it was like my first exposure to Australian culture, which I assume was just like Mad Max as a child.
Exactly like it.
I'm sure it was just like everyone's driving around in yellow muscle cars, which Nate has proved to be the truth of the whole thing. So in 2010, I was in a pretty horrendous car accident. I was fine. I come away unscathed from all these car accidents. But I was
Every time.
You've had a few, haven't you? You had one on the way to Mo Tuesday one morning.
I had a few. But I was driving full speed down an icy highway, and a lady came towards me and then spun right in front of me like this, and I hit her full speed going. So both cars are demolished, but I was fine. I was in a big car, so it's kind of like a war overseas. It's terrible, but it's so far away, it doesn't really affect you.
Right.
And so, but because they come in, they put you in the stretcher, and they got to put neck brace on you and whatnot. So I started taking selfies in the ambulance and sending them to my wife. Of me like all strapped in, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, but this is just for." So then they take you to the hospital, and the doctor who came to check me out, they got to do everything. They got to like are your feet reacting? Because it's a spinal kind of situation. Was Australian, and he was like, "Oh, mate, you haven't had a great day." And I was like, "No, I was just trying to drive my car like Max Rockatansky," and he's like. You're like, who are you talking about? I was like, Max Rockatansky. And the nurses are like, is he with it? Like, that's not his name. I thought I had a head injury. And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, like, don't make me mad. And they're like, sir, don't get belligerent. You're just trying to help. And I was like, trying to make Max references to this Australian doctor, and he didn't get a 1. And I felt so terrible. I was like, this is my one moment to shine.
He must have been a Kiwi. You've misaligned him.
Yeah.
Must have been a Kiwi. Hey, check out this comment from Will. He goes, so this is where and when all the cool kids hang out. Just got a little bit cooler because you showed up.
Absolutely.
Glad I woke up when I did. Awesome people on screen and wonderful people in the chat. Here. I agree. Cheers, muchacho.
Cheers, Will.
Yeah, I do agree. That was a very good Aussie accent. So convincing. That I'm going to make you an honorary Aussie. Oh, speaking of honorary, there we are. Beard of Legend, an honorary Aussie any day of the week. Yep. So we'll also extend that to Adam for his epic.
Well, I thank you for that, but we need to be careful with that honorary Aussie. So as you well know, Zazel spent some time in Canada last year, and It's been now a national holiday called Zazel Week because we had such a great time.
Best time. It was almost RonCon week, but we've
almost RonCon. But we were at a wrestling show. And there happened to be 2 Aussie wrestlers visiting Canada wrestling this match. And in the middle of the match, Zazel yells out, "Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!" And the guy in the ring stops kicking the other guy in the face, and he goes, "Oi, oi, oi!" And this phenomenon, fascinated my wife. She's like, "Are you telling me you can go into any crowd, anywhere in the world, and just yell Aussie, 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 and other Australians have to reply back to you like it's a secret code?" And Zazel's like, "Essentially, yes." And so that has fascinated her to the point where she's like, "I would never, ever say, I would never want to take that from them. That's their thing. I would never pretend to be an Aussie and say it." And so it's become a bit of a joke in our house where it's like, "Oh, what's like the Canadian version of Aussie, Aussie, Aussie?" So if you make us like honorary Aussies, I don't know if we're going to be safe in any crowd.
What would be the Canadian version of that?
A.
I'm sorry. And then they.
I think the origins of the Aussie thing, it started at might have even been like the Melbourne Olympics when they had it here.
Oh,
okay.
And the crowd got all riled up with this Aussie, oi, oi, oi thing. And it was so bad that they tried to ban it because it was too distracting for the athletes.
What?
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
So we did.
It's a good story, either way.
Oh, we got another legend in the chat.
Hey.
Jim Lager. Greetings, buddy. So
he did a great video today on the history of the teddy bear. You see that?
I haven't
Jim
checked it out.
Yeah,
Bloody outrageous.
Great video, Jim.
Some of us went to work today, Phil.
Oh, I was working while I was watching it.
Oh, okay.
It's educational, therefore it works.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like how Nate just randomly had the history of where Aussie came from and the oi, oi, oi part of it.
No, I think if I was ever on a trivia show, Nate would be my phone a friend.
Now, here's the thing, right? Nate could have definitely made that up just now.
Did you see me on the games
Yeah.
night? On the board, man.
Yeah. All right. No
Can any
comment.
Aussies in the chat verify any of that?
Money? Definitely don't phone Nate.
So the only other thing before I forget, the only other thing that is a must do if you're an Aussie, other than Aussie, oi, 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 is when the song comes on, it says, "Am I ever going to see your face again?" There's a thing that you got to say. I don't know if we can say it right now, but I went to the pub. So it goes, I'm not going to say the lines because it's too early in the morning for the Yanks. Just kidding, guys. I love you. But so the song goes, "Am I ever gonna see your face again?" And then you gotta yell out these lines that has a lot of swearing in it, right? Yeah.
No way. Get effed. F off. So
exactly. You got to do it every time.
Reply to the
F off. Am I ever? Yeah. And it just goes. He gets it. Nate gets it.
You
right?
Aussies
So,
are quite chanting.
I get it.
I took a South African, you know him from G.I. Joburg, off to karaoke, and we were doing the karaoke. We were watching karaoke, and then that song was starting to get it was leading up. I was like, "Oh yes, I love this song," and then now I've had a couple of beers, but I'm super into this, and that song. They start singing that song. And then out of nowhere, it comes to the part, and I'm just yelling out, "No way, get F off." And he's sitting there going, "What's happening? Do you not like them? Are they that bad?" It's like, no, you got to do it. You got to do it.
Got to do it. Speaking of games nights, guys, guess what was relisted on Marketplace this morning?
No, Monkey Boy.
Not Monkey Boy, but this little lady.
Gumby toy.
So there may be, you can see that you could push the C conversation button. That maybe I'm having a conversation with this person.
We need it. When you get it, you got to smell it though. Make sure it's clean.
What do they want for it? $3 or something?
$3. So it's just a matter
what
of
are you, haggling for $3?
No.
Take two.
I'll send you the $3.
It's slightly used. How slightly used are we talking?
How recently used?
No, that monkey though. Buyers like regret not buying it, missing out. I should have bought that without thinking.
Yeah, that I would. Yeah, here we go. Kimberly gets it.
Yeah.
Buy it. What are you waiting for? When it's gone, you'll wish you had it.
$3 is $3.
True. Man, games night was a blast. Though Adam has been putting together some of the most entertaining games for us. And Nate, I've got to say, it doesn't matter how good or bad you are at these games because Space Commander is going to win them anyway. But I think it's just always a good fun hanging out. Trying to figure out exactly what a Canadian will and won't put money down on. That monkey
I don't know how
was
Space Commander does it because it's isn't it 3 o'clock in the morning or something for him when the game's night's on? It's
Well, I have a theory.
Yeah.
Where Space Commander's never told me what he does for a living. I think he's in a bunker like a think tank for the government, where it's his brain works differently. And so they're like, yeah, you can have your Space Commander, but the rest of the day you're thinking about how to do all these. He's like the Pretender. Remember that show, The Pretender?
He's basically the UK's Google. That's why he's up in the satellites.
Oh, yeah. He's feeding them information that he finds out on games night.
Turns out Google isn't a search engine; it's just a direct chat with Spacey.
yeah. He's
That's
giving
what
Adam the questions.
Oh boy, I love Space Commander though. He's a good egg. That one.
That's why I have to use Gaggle and not Google, because otherwise Spacey would know everything for sure.
Yeah. So I do have a incoming transmission tomorrow morning with Space Commander, and we're having TJC on as a guest. It's going to be a very early morning one for me, but still, we do it for our buddies. Hey, I want to know, Nate. What do you think was the first project that you did where you thought to yourself, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, I'm hilarious. And yeah, I'm going to put it on YouTube.
That's like 3 different things.
Let's hear it.
So the first project that I did that I thought would be worth making the RetroTinker so I could share it, like a dedicated thing for it, would have been I have a 1960s Japanese Horikawa robot that my parents just picked it up in an antique shop for like really cheap because its face was all smashed in. Like looked like someone had actually like taken a lighter to its lens and everything.
Oh.
And, like, dropped it, but also that someone had glued it back together, and then the old glue was kind of running out of it. It was just this zombified robot.
Cool.
Really loved it as is, like you wish you could have had him in, like, kept him in both states.
Yeah.
But it was also the challenge of, can I fix it? And so I got,
yes, you can.
yeah, well, I got to work, and by the time I was done with that job, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is kind of, this. I think this is interesting enough to actually share with people. Like, I was posting stuff just on my Facebook, like, with my friends and whatever. But yeah, I thought, this is kind of worth sharing with, and trying to broaden a community of other people that are interested in this stuff. And so that was kind of when I started thinking about it. And then it takes me a long time to build up to things. It took me months of thinking about it before I did it. And it took me 2 years before I, dropped my first YouTube video from there. In terms of when I actually thought, okay, now's the time to drop a video, was this year. I've had a lot of problems with my back, so I haven't been working full days. Had a bit of extra time on my hands, and I had been doing like shorts and reels on Instagram and stuff, just because I knew I wanted to do it, but I was really struggling trying to work around a camera, like stands and things like that. So that's why I kind of started to do reels, just to kind of get used to having a camera in front of me. But yeah, because I had a bit of extra time on my hands, I was like, yeah, okay, now maybe I'll try and thread something together into a bit longer video. And then the little robot cosmic Raider Force car things came up, and like that wasn't too big a project to tackle. Like, it seemed at the time like fairly simple, even though I ended up like tearing my hair out over electrical issues. Right. It seemed not too big.
It obviously did no real damage though.
Yeah, I only tear it out the back of my head.
A glorious bald spot back there.
It's all party up front. Yeah, but you'll notice that first video, it's just our toy repair video. There's not really any jokes or anything like that, and it wasn't really until I got onto Mo Tuesday, and
right.
Yeah, and we had a great time. We had a lot of laughs and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's kind of what I want to do. And it sort of unlocked it in my head, like it kind of got rid of the anxiety a little bit, that it's okay for me to be goofy and stupid and fun. It's doesn't have to be just like playing up like toy repair video. Yeah, I think that answered the question.
Well, I got to say, your unique style, your humor, your ability to transform a car, like I'm talking about the car one specifically, where I saw you just absolutely restore this thing to make it look like it was brand new again. But also, it's similar to what Adam does, in where you find something that people would ordinarily go, oh, that's busted, it doesn't really have any value. But you see value in it, and then not only have you seen value in toys that need a little bit of TLC, but if you don't know where it's from, you create a whole backstory for it and give it a life that it never probably had before. So I don't want to give too much away on the video, but go check out those videos because it is hilarious.
To this day, I have no idea exactly what it is.
Every video is absolute gold. Like honestly, you'll wet yourself. It's just hilarious stuff, and you're so clever as well. It's just the perfect combination, man. It's great.
I'll say every toy show I've gone to since its premiere, I've looked for a gluten comment. I'm like, I gotta find one. I gotta get myself a gluten comment.
Yeah,
it came from France. So that's all I know about it. It came from France. It was like a couple of bucks with free postage, and because I've got a few like the sort of the knockoff kind of toys in my collection, it kind of looked like it was supposed to go with some of the like the Power Ranger type things. I thought maybe it was kind of related to those. So I thought, a couple of bucks, and that'll be a good little project. I can repaint it and whatever.
Nate, sorry to put the brakes on what you're talking about here, but there's a comment that just came up in the chat that I need to explore with you. Are you a Dungeons and Dragons dungeon master?
I wish. I've come up.
Wishes it was that cool.
I've come up with ideas, but I literally have no idea. Like we've only played like one campaign of D&D with friends, and it was my friend. He was the dungeon master. So I've got all these cool, fun ideas for the campaigns, but I literally have no idea how to run a D&D campaign. I know exactly what I want to do in it.
I was like, if Nate's a dungeon master, we've got to do a live stream Dungeons and Dragons game. Like that's got to happen. But
we got to do something with it.
Yeah. I was actually wanting to ask you guys at some stage. Does anyone here like D&D?
So I started playing it on an app that my son has. I've done so. The app was so easy to use. It's just like you just add your stats and so forth and so on, and then I wasn't dungeon master, so he did all the hard work and told me, where are you going to go? I was like, I don't know, left. So I'm what's down there?
Kim has just handed me some things that I made for our D&D campaign. So
okay, I'm going to do your solo. Whoop.
So my character was a cleric who'd come to a new world to bring his religion with him. So I made pamphlets for my religion.
Yes. What is that?
This is my god, Long Nomma. This is the world god.
Guy starts a cult.
I am a Long Nomma.
And so as you go through the quest, and anything that you kill, or if you like find like a whole bunch of dead things or whatever, we offer them up to Long Nomma, and then they're consumed by purple flames, and sometimes something good happens. Yeah, so that was cool. And then it was coming up to Christmas, and so I made a Long Nomma themed Christmas storybook.
All right, hang on. There's no way we're not hearing this book. It's story time with Nate.
Story time. So it's thrown under the bus here. But like, all illustrated by me. The solstice miracle.
Love it. Do it play school style. Yeah.
It's like reading Rainbow.
'Twas the morning of solstice, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. For winter was harsh, and no food did grow. The soil was frozen, buried 'neath the snow. The waters froze solid, no fish to be caught. The passes snowed under, no supplies could be brought. First fell the elders, brittle and fail, great Auntie Mildred and Grandfather Dale. Mother grew sick, father as well. The children grew frightened they'd soon hear death's bell. It seemed all was hopeless, they could hang on no more, when all of a sudden came a knock at the door.
Oh.
On the step was a stranger, in black was he dressed, round his neck a medallion bearing a strange crest.
Uh-oh.
Please, mister, they said, do you have any food? We're starving to death and it's not looking good.
Oh my God.
The stranger did smile, then shook his head. I'll do you one better. Show me your dead. Argue, the stranger they led into the yard where they buried their dead. He knelt on the graves of the newly deceased. Long nommer, he said, this flesh is your feast. The ground it did tremble with a crumbling sound. Something was coming, moving beneath the ground.
Oh no.
Skin black as coal, scales dark as night, eyes like orbs glowing with violet light. The man cried, behold, the worldworm has come. Long nommer is pleased, now your struggle is done. She first ate the elders, consuming the flesh of grandfather and Mildred, their bodies most fresh. The worldworm was hungry. There she didn't stop, eating her way through the family plot. She munched Granny Mabel, crunched Uncle Pat. She even devoured the old family cat. And as she consumed something most strange, the snow it did melt, and the land it did change. Gone were the graves, and gone were the dead, leaving green fields and new life instead.
Okay, nice.
In grandmother's face, apple trees stood. The garden was blooming and bursting with food. The river it thawed, gently it churned, while all the fish and wildlife returned. The family, so grateful, fell to the ground. They thanked the kind stranger, for the miracles abound. It is not I that you need to thank. It is Long Nommer's grace on which you must thank. So if you are grateful, waste not your flesh. Bury your dead and bury them fresh. With these final words, the man walked away. Where he was headed, nobody can say. Through Long Nommer's grace, the family was saved, and thus they were given a merry solstice day.
Yes. Yes.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I'm convinced. I'm a Long Nommer acolyte now. I'm
So
in.
here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
Why is it Nate doing story time at least once a week? You
Yeah.
went into a whole
Regular. On the regular.
like persona of book reading story guy there. Do that more. I'd watch every
The
story.
story, the art, the execution.
Yeah.
That took weeks. Never underestimate the effort I will go for a joke.
I already know.
So, Nate, I want you to know that I feel a kinship with you. We both fix toys. We both have great beards. 3 years ago, so I make my mom a Christmas gift every year. It's kind of like ever since I was a kid, I just keep doing it. And she has like a strange family upbringing, TJC. And so she was telling us these stories from her childhood. And she was like, yeah. And then my dad's other kids from his other wife, they moved in next door. And he's like, so now we had to like hang out with Chuck, Lulu, Lady, and Baggy, and just kept telling the story. And I said, what did you just say? And she goes, yeah, like his 4 kids, Chuck, Lady, Lulu, and Baggy. And I was like, were they the Cosby kids? Like, what are they hanging with Fat Albert with names like that? And she's like, no, it's just Chuck, Lady, Lulu, and Baggy. So then I wrote a whole story for her about these characters, Chuck, Lady, Lulu, and Baggy for Christmas. Much, not as good as yours, but much akin to it.
I need to know the further adventures of Long Nama.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Was that story a team effort with your better half, Nate, or that was you 100%?
That was me.
That's all you.
I do want to give a special shout out to Kimberly, though, who is, you can tell, is your biggest fan, your biggest supporter, always encouraging, always has nice things to say, puts them in the chat.
Always in the chat.
Yeah, and always here showing her support. So shout out to Kimberly. Well, like, Kimbo, as we call her in the group chat.
When I'm working on stuff that I get excited about, like, she'll be like, no, don't tell me. I want to know, like, when it's done. So, like if I'm working on a video, something like, no, don't show me. I want to see it when it's done. But it's like, which it can be frustrating because I just want to bounce something off someone. Like,
right.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, it's cool because, like, she's looking forward to finding out what I've done.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
She's awesome.
I think so too. Johnny has called you out, Phil, for your plush bear there.
It's Molly.
Good golly.
Good golly, it's Molly. My daughter will be lucky to have it back.
Mine.
Infinitely cooler than Rolf.
Unbelievable.
So something tells me that we might not be too far from getting something like this, but with Long Nama on it. I don't want to say that I'm putting ideas in your head, but, you know.
That was actually my intention. So that metal thing, I made the first one out of Sculpey, and then I used my vacuum former to suck a bit of plastic over the top, so it's got that shape. And then I just press a bit of Sculpey into it, peel it out, and that's my metal. That's my starting point. And so I was making the metals for things, and then I was like, oh, well, I'm going to make a Long Nama metal as well, like, because, you know, a cleric's supposed to have an amulet or something that they use to get their power from. But I never ended up making it. Yeah, but the next metal is probably a bit different because I broke my mold.
Now, we all know that Scientology started with being a science fiction book, right?
I'm converted. I'm Long Nama all the way.
I just want to put this cautionary tale out there. That's how that started.
Yeah, I need to put the word of Long Nama out there in WA. I've got you, mate.
50 years from now, you'll be hearing funerals and people saying, Long Nama, this flesh is your feast.
Gonna catch up.
May it sustain you as you sustain us.
I want to eat the apple from the tree that Long Nama produced.
Right. Unbelievable.
My
face hurts from laughing when you're reading that story.
It was so good. Yeah, my cheek hurt too, which is a weird sentence to say out loud. So, were there any projects, Nate, that you went into and thought, I'm going to try this, and it just absolutely failed? And if so, what was it, and how did you recover? Geek Strong's here. Nothing. I tried.
The one. Okay. I've got the Magnetron robot. Everything's hardwired in them.
Right.
And when they come apart into so many pieces, and you're trying to work on them and you get the motors out, and you've got all these bits flying around with the wires attached. And I broke so many wires, I had to reattach so many things, but I did the whole project in an evening because my in-laws were over. It was Easter weekend. They'd come over, we'd had dinner, and they were just at the table doing stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna have a quick look at this thing. And I ended up I was standing there in my lounge room working on on top of a bookshelf for probably 6 hours. This robot, by the end of the night, I had a robot that walked, but Walked me every step of the way until I finally got to this point where it all got back together. I'm like, I've done it.
It's alive.
I love that the narrative's gonna be like, yeah, like Kimberly, whenever we come over to visit you guys, and they just goes into the room and builds a robot. I don't know, like isn't
okay?
It's usually like the next room over though, so I could lean back.
He's on the bookshelf.
Yeah. So I'm not antisocial.
He can do a few things at once.
Yeah. But other than that, the one that I'm just finishing up on now, it's probably one of those times where you start fixing something and then things just start breaking, more things. Right. I don't know. At the start of the job, I was thinking there might not actually be enough here to make a video about. It might be a short or something, but there's enough. Trust me, there's enough.
Oh, good. Okay, cool. I can't wait to see it. Hey, I'm going to ask you, Nate, how do you negotiate using the China cabinets as toy space?
They're mine, so.
Perfect. Okay. That's one way to do it.
Yeah, they were my.
That's not the kitchen, is it, Nate?
No. This is the other end of the house. This is my toy room. That's mostly.
You're not at the dinner table then.
No. I used to do everything at the dinner table, and it's been a lot of work just to have some sort of a space down here because you don't feel good taking up the table all the time.
I have no problems with it.
Kimberly is winning it in the chat today.
Yeah,
just absolute positivity and funny comments, and just really helping to champion you and show you off. The secrets are in the hair, I believe it. But, it's really good to see. You can't be at the table; it's covered in the current project.
A massive lot of toys that I got last week.
Right,
they're still sitting there on the table. Because when you get one or two things, it's quite easy to get them into the collection here and there. You know? When you look at it like that, I'm just like, where do I start? Because obviously it's not all going to fit. So now I've got to prioritize. And do I do a complete rearrange of some things, or do I just cherry pick a few things? And I just got them, so I want to be able to enjoy them, not just put them straight in a box. So now I'm like, do I clear off another shelf? It's just yeah.
What's your favorite line, Nate? Is it Ninja Turtles or Motu?
These days, I'd say it'd be Motu. I'm most into, I think.
Thanks to us.
Yeah. We'll convert you to Motu easy.
What are your opinions on the Masters of the Universe Ninja Turtles mashup? Then you're the perfect person to ask about that.
Love it. I want all of them.
You want it. You want it all.
The main one, if someone said no, you have to pick one that you can't have, it would probably be Duncan, where he's just got a turtle mace and things like that. Because he doesn't look he's cool, but it's just he's got some turtle gear. He hasn't the mutated He-Man just looks like he should come with a new version of the slime pit that has purple slime instead of green slime.
Ooh, smart. This guy, he gets it.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think the story, when I saw the story for it, it made a little bit more sense with what was going on. I know Adam's out. He's like, nope, none of it. I'm not here for it. I'm out. Dunkatello is probably my favorite of them.
Yeah.
And now that I know that now that I know that Leonardo's swords can join together to make a power sword, I'm like, maybe Leo too. But Krang and the android body, if that thing can pull apart and take out the Krang part, it'll still make a really good character for the Masters of the Universe. We'll keep it as Krang.
Yeah, because Nate, I wanted to ask you actually on the because you're a few years younger than us old bastards over here. you would have been Motu would have been all finished up by the time you were sort of into toys as a kid, right? Like,
yeah.
Where did your passion for Motu come about? Because I'd imagine that the Motu would have been off the toy shelf by the time that you were playing with toys and stuff.
Well, I had older brothers, so I was always kind of aware of He-Man.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't really. I'm more passionate about toys as an adult, I think, than I was as a kid.
Yeah.
My toy collection it's been like an evolving process where I used to collect cars and car parts, and then we were going to swap meets all the time. So my mum started collecting toys to give her something to look for, and eventually it got to a point where I would look for toys for mum, like, oh, mum would like this, give that to her for her birthday. And then one year I was at a swap meet and there was this great big robot. It's called the Miglio scooter thing. It was a big remote controlled thing. It was supposed to be like a little robot butler that has a tray that it carries. Everything. Oh, that's really cool. Mum would love that. And it was with
Your mum sounds awesome.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, can we get that for Mum? Yeah. Okay, cool. So we chuck it in the car. And they're like, we strapped in with a seatbelt because it's big enough to tie into the car with a seatbelt. And like, it just sat there quietly in the backseat all the drive home. And it was like, this thing is awesome. I love it so much. You get all the way home. Put some D batteries. We need to put it in this thing. And it didn't work, but its eyes light up. And I was like, cool. And then, so that got me thinking about when I was a kid, my dad had an old toy robot, like one of the Magnetron robots that I was talking about earlier. He had one of those in the shed, and I had my best friend loved pulling electronic things apart. Like, there was never a week gone by where he didn't destroy something in his house that he really shouldn't have. And we had this robot in the shed, and we put batteries in it, but it didn't work. So he was like, well, let's try and fix it. Destroyed the thing. It ended up in a million pieces, like in 5 minutes flat. And every now and then, Dad would like make a comment about this. You broke my robot, sort of thing. Oh yeah, I had one of those once. So the big robot got me thinking about this other one, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll look into. See if I can replace it. Shut him up after all these last 20 years.
Shut up, Dad.
We'll fix it.
Found one. It was in the States, so like waited for about a month for it to get here, and the build-up was that. And I was that excited by the time it got here that I'm like, "Yep, this is mine now." Then began my robot collection, which I don't really have many of my robots on display. Most of them are packed away in tubs. Most of them are actually out at my parents' house because that's where I left them when we used to like set up a museum thing once a year. So it just made more sense to leave them out there, taking up their space. But I had like a nice little robot collection for a time in my house. Just had this little dresser thing that they were all and that was all good. And then I was at another swap meet walking past, and I saw a Super Nintendo. And I was like, "Oh, Super Nintendo! I haven't played Super Nintendo since I was a kid." No, it was pretty cheap, so I got it in a game. And Kim and I, we went back to we plugged it into the motel TV.
Nice.
Yeah, it was all good fun. And so then that started my retro console collection. So it was like started systematically working through trying to collect all the consoles and as many games as I could get my hands on. And then eventually, as I was looking for stuff for Mum, I picked up a couple of Ninja Turtles because there wasn't really anything from the 90s in the display, because you start looking for things for the toy display, the museum thing.
Right.
It's a really good feeling having all these people come in and see all the things from their childhood, hearing their stories and everything. It was a really positive experience. A lot of work, like several like car trailer loads worth of toys and dinky bikes and pedal cars and all sorts of. But yeah, so
that's cool. It's a whole family affair by the sounds of it. Everyone's in on it. Everyone's fighting over the toys.
I picked up a couple of Ninja Turtles for a couple of bucks, and I was like, "Hey, Mum, these are for you." But before I'd given them to Mum, I'd taken them home. Take pictures of them, like which that's just adult for playing with my toys. Anyway,
I agree. Yeah.
Over the years, it's a twisted feeling having people like our age go into a museum,
right?
Seeing their stuff in a museum and having that like I'm old realization.
So Brandon R is in it for the robots. He loves a good robot.
Yes. Love a good
so he's all in as far as that's concerned. I love a good robot. I love a bad robot too. Any robot.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with it.
It's funny when you're talking about feeling old. I saw a post the other day that was the 2000X He-Man figures, like are older now than the vintage ones were when 2000X came out.
Oh,
oh God!
No,
by a long way, right?
It hurts, eh?
Yeah,
that really hurts.
Yeah. So like, I got into collecting toys. It was kind of like is this mix of finding stuff for Mum, finding stuff for the collection, and then just like cherry picking things that I liked. And then eventually I picked up.
Dennis copped the
because I'd had my robots like the whole time I was collecting robots. I'm like, if I ever see Transformers for cheap, I'd definitely grab a few Transformers for my robots. And they don't pop, like out in the country at least, they don't pop up all that often at things like swap meets and stuff. But eventually I did stumble across one. It was cheap. It was a G1 Scourge that was just in sort of ratty condition, needed new stickers, but it was complete enough, like minus the accessories, whatever. But it was, I was like, oh yeah, surely I can go online and buy stickers for this and fix it up and put it in my collection. And that was good. I enjoyed that. And then the next swap meet, I came across a G1 Optimus Prime with his head snapped off. I'm like, oh, I'll grab that for $1. So I was just like, yeah, I'll grab that for $1. Surely, maybe I'll find a head for it, something online. Sure.
See, Adam, that's what I'm saying, right? Is that he's willing to put $1 down for a headless Prime, but you won't put $3 down for an awesome Gumby girlfriend toy.
He's doing it. He's doing it.
I'm not.
Joe,
the conversation is this available? I'll take it.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm lashing out.
Waiting for a response.
You know what? I've got you.
Yeah.
I want to shout out, just real quick, I want to shout out Joe Recondo sending me an awesome package in the mail with some the superstars, WWE superstars. So thank you for sending that over. There's also a Motu thing in there, which I haven't shown you guys yet. And I didn't even put a photo up, but I'm going to bring that out on a Mo Tuesday one day, thanks to Joe and Tell. And I reckon we're going to get Joe on an episode of Mo Tuesday when we get back to it.
Sure.
He had those awesome Battle Cat sneakers at Joe Fest.
Yeah, he did. He really did. He had the best sneakers in the house. And he had the unlimited esky full of alcohol. I'd buy that for $1. So the Headless Prime. Sorry, Headless Prime. Go ahead.
Headless Prime. So I got it home, and then I found that there's an Australian Transformers collectors club, and a sort of an offshoot of that is a little G1 Wreckers page. So if you're looking
nice.
for parts, you go to the
calling it Wreckers is a great idea.
Yeah. So I found a head, fixed up Optimus Prime. And then just sort of that's sort of when you started looking for things to fix.
Right.
Yeah. And because I was like, well, I can't afford like the big ticket items. I can afford something broken. I don't mind fixing things. So that's what you go looking for. And it just sort of snowballed. But yeah, so
it's interesting. You made a comment that resonated with me when you were like, it was a bit ratty. His stickers need to be replacing, but he was complete except for all his stuff. Right. And so it's funny when I'm out with my like collecting buddies that like my local guys that also collect, and I'm like, oh, he's all there, and they're like, he's missing everything. I'm like, yeah, but he's all there. Like his arms, his heads are there. And that's where like I consider complete. I'm like, yeah, we got him.
Yeah.
A figure without accessories still looks good. A figure without a head, like, doesn't. Yeah, unless
that's a bit of a harder sell.
I got a Django Fett in there that I had to laugh when I
doesn't have a head. That's fine.
Well, it's actually magnetic. The head's magnetic.
Oh.
The first thing I did was pick it up and the head fell off. I need a wet Mace Windu with his purple lightsaber.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's kind of like my. There's just all different sort of factors of how I've got into collecting. It would start off like I wanted to get not everything, but a selection of everything for the display for the museum, because then people would come in. It's more relatable, because we had noticed that a lot of the people of our generation were coming in, pointing stuff out to their kids and stuff, and it was all really cool. So that's kind of what I was starting to try and get was more stuff for the display, and then it just kind of became an obsession. And so
with a healthy obsession.
And I just love, I love Motu because of how varied it is, all the gimmicks that they came up with. It's just an incredible line. So like my favorites would be like Motu, Transformers, and Power Rangers, because Power Rangers was my thing. From some of those Power Rangers are mine from when I was a kid. So they're probably my favorite three. Although like Ninja Turtles would be very, very up there as well. And like I had a few GI Joes when I was a kid, but like I'm not super attached to that line because they were only a couple of things. I got them for cheap secondhand, and they ended up destroyed and forgotten about in the bottom of the toy chest, because I used to freeze them in blocks of ice because of Demolition Man.
We all tried it. We've all tried it. Nate, speaking of Motu though, how shit is Spycore though? Seriously. Will you back me on that? Am I the only one?
I think so. I don't think anyone quite hates the French tickler as much as you.
Oh, just garbage. Johnny, who's in the chat now. I might, you've got the voice for it, so I might get you to read this one out, Nate. But Johnny hit me up today and goes, "Have you got Spycore? Did you get him?" And I was like, "Unfortunately," with the spew face emoji. And he's like, "I take it you didn't like him, mate. I don't even know why I have him." Anyway, so Nate, let's hear it in your best voice. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a song or a poem, but let's get your rendition.
A leader of Autobots, without a face. In the heat of the battle, he set the pace. For the headless Optimus, a legend to be, a hero for all, in rhyme for you and me.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Move over, Peter Cullen.
Yeah, move over. Get out of here. Lose your head already. Gazz is here.
Yes.
Some kids.
Morning, Gazz.
What a legend.
Absolutely.
And I mean that in the sincere Aussie term, not the other one. How are you, mate?
Tone and posture.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean it with sincerity and a beer in my hand. So it's good. If it's rum in your hand, then it's trouble.
No, because Howard drinks rum and they lie all the time.
Yeah. I can't do rum. Can't do it. I mean, I could do it, but I shouldn't. Anyway, moving on. What's next, Nate? What's next?
What's next?
What's next on the agenda?
On the agenda, I got hopefully a video coming out in the next week or so. I've got the main, like the toys fixed. I've got to turn that in. Like I've got it mostly turned into a video, and then I have to come up with a silly segment to put in the video. Right.
I'm sure that won't be hard for you to figure out. You're very clever. You're very funny.
So it should be like if I absolutely like hauled ass this weekend, I could probably get it done, but it'll probably be next weekend.
Well, the good thing about YouTube is that if you want it to be, it's just fun. It doesn't have to be work. It doesn't have to be pressure. Nobody should be felt pressure to do anything that they find fun and creative. Otherwise, it becomes a job, and jobs suck.
Yeah.
Unless you like it.
The bosses are watching the show.
Shout out to everyone at work right now that's watching this.
Friday night for us.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Work sucks, I know.
I've got work tomorrow, actually. It's not TGI for me. Jesus.
Oh, no, Phil, no.
School on a Saturday. What's going on?
Yeah. Puke. Who's going to even show up, mate?
Is it like a thing where you work one Saturday a month, or do you work every Saturday?
I've got to work 2 Saturdays a month, so yeah, this is one work tomorrow. So,
do you ever just show cartoons and phone it in?
Just reel in the TV. Yeah,
that's right.
Get the VCR out. I need a copy of the Young and the Restless.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, if we could get that on a loop, just playing at school.
Education.
Is there school every Saturday though?
Yeah. My school, they have classes every Saturday morning. Yeah, 6 days a week.
And kids have to go to school 6 days a week.
Yeah, and that's why they're zombie like at school. They've just The Walking Dead.
Do they have Sunday school?
No. They go to Adam for that.
Yeah. Send them to church. Send them to Nate's long nommer.
Long nom, yeah.
You're out there every Sunday scraping up roadkill.
If that isn't turned into the next HBO Game of Thrones series, Long Nomus, then we've really missed the boat here.
I feel like it's got legs, but it doesn't at the same time. You know what I mean?
Right. Slithers.
It's slithers. I got to also ask Nate the idea for the name RetroTinker and the logo. I was going to say, who came up with that? But after seeing your storybooks and your epic writing, it was like you on a whim.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something, and it's actually like the first thing that I thought of. And then you did a Google, nothing came up for RetroTinker. I'm like, yeah, that's great. And then like in the last like year or two or something, there are RetroTinker Nikes out there.
Okay.
There sure are.
I reckon Joe Recondo's got a pair of those.
RetroTinker Nikes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, great. Now I'm going to get sued.
I don't think so. They'll come to you for ideas. Gazz is saying legends on the screen, legends in the chat, legends of the fall. What a way to start the day. I'm hearing you, Gazz. We're ending our day, me and Phil, like this, and Nate too. So it's Adam starting his day. We're ending ours. A couple of us have a beer.
I'm drinking Arizona watermelon juice.
I
was wondering what that was.
Because other streams have showed me that my tea gets ice cold by the end. So
yeah, true. I stopped drinking. I had a coffee, and then Todd offered me beer, so I gave up on the coffee. I think I made the right choice.
Cool.
All right, well, guys, we'll wrap it up there. It was been an epic belly busting laugh riot with our good buddy Nate. Like I said, if you guys haven't already checked out his channel, please do subscribe to it. In fact, if you just watch one of his videos, you will hit that subscribe anyway. It is it's hilarious. It's creative. It hits so many things from a creative standpoint that it's like how where has this been all my life? It's hilarious. It's well thought out. It's great, Nate, and I'm great, Nate. It's great, Nate, and I'm glad you're my mate.
Right back at you. Thanks,
and thanks again to Kimberly for hanging out in the chat.
Mrs. Tinker.
Mrs. Tinker, we appreciate it. Also, do check out Adam from GoFigure. He hangs out on this channel once a month during games night because he's just an absolute champion of a fella. But he if you like anything the RetroTinker's doing, you're going to like anything that Adam's doing too. Very similar stuff. And Phil's channel, do check that out too. The best way that you can figure out an emoji and usage of emojis is from Phil's channel. I didn't know I needed emojis in my videos until
you need it, buddy.
To expert precision.
The thing about Phil's videos, which I think is, and maybe the time is the same, but whereas I would make a mistake and edit it out, Phil just leaves it in and then edits an emoji on top of it. So it's the same time.
Much easier. It saves me time.
It's like more clever. It's just a better way to do it.
He's like, I've got an emoji for this. He's like, oh, I want them to fall over. Just gives them a nudge. He's like, oh,
it just covers up all my mistakes. It's like a temporary plaster to cover all my mistakes. Easy solution.
Well, it works for me, mate.
Oh,
Beard Force United. I hope to do it again soon. This has been a great evening. Thanks, guys. The best way to finish up on a Friday night. Probably the best way to start a Friday too. If that's your time. Don't forget tomorrow morning for me, or evening depending on where you are. There's incoming transmission with Space Commander returning again. Oh my God! It's a double feature weekend. Space Commander coming back. We're talking with TJC, and he's into retro gaming. So we've got retro toys with Nate. We've got retro gaming with TJC. It's going to be a fun, epic, exciting games talk tomorrow. So if you're into any of that stuff, it'll be 6 a.m. for me. I'm going to be wide awake. So tune in for that. Check out Phil. Check out Adam. Check out Nate, and we will check you guys later. Now to find a video that we can go out on any you know what we'll do? We're going to go out with Slaughter Disorder. I haven't played that one in a while. How good is that?
Brilliant.
Guys, we're dismissed. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Disorder, I'm a hoarder of slaughter. And if I want another soda, I just make an order. I pay dollars, not quarters, just to get the slaughters. My obsession overflows like bubble bath water. I love slaughter, disorder. I'm a hoarder of slaughter. If I want another slaughter, I just make an order. Pay dollars, not quarters, just to get the slaughter. My obsession overflows like bubble bath water. My obsession overflows like bubble bath water. Yeah, I love slaughter, disorder. I'm a hoarder of slaughter. If I want another slaughter, I just make an order. Pay dollars, not quarters, just to get the slaughters. Cause my obsession overflows like bubble bath water. My obsession overflows like bubble bath water. Yeah, I love slaughter, disorder. I'm a hoarder of slaughter. If I want another slaughter, just make an order. Pay dollars, not quarters, just to get the slaughter.